just go at it. We're going to play some over here Lichess. And I'm going to tell you a story tonight about Prometheus and Pandora as we're playing because sometimes I have discovered that some of these ancient truths can help your gameplay a lot. And as we start with this King's Gambit, we're going to be thinking about Pandora and Prometheus. A lot of people know about Pandora, Pandora's box. It was actually a bottle, but a lot of people don't know that it's related with the story of Prometheus. Now, for those of you who don't know, Prometheus gave fire to mankind, to humankind. And humankind was not really meant to get fire. Zeus, who was the big wig back then, didn't really like the fact that people were going to get such a nice gift. He was a little bit jealous about it, I guess. And he decided to punish Prometheus and chained him to a rock. And the eagles came every day to feed on Prometheus's liver. And as if that wasn't enough, Zeus thought, well, those guys, those men and women down there, they're actually benefiting from this gift of fire that Prometheus gave. So, well, I'm going to fix them too. So what did Zeus do? He told one of his master craftsmen to fashion a sort of a box or a bottle and give it to a woman who was also made. The same craftsman made the woman out of clay and gave this woman to Prometheus's brother, whose name was Epithesius. He was Epithesius, which means lack of forethought. And Epithesius forgot the advice that Prometheus had given him not to accept gifts from the gods. The gods were kind of like inherently, how should we say, unreliable. But he went ahead and took the gift, and as it turned out, he got the wife of Pandora along with her box. And it didn't work out too good because when she was given the box, Pandora was warned, like, don't look into the box. Whatever you do, don't look into the box. But curiosity got the better of her. And she opened up the box. And all the maladies, all the problems of mankind just came right out of there. And not too cool. And it was like a horrible thing, like they all just came out of that box and basically screwed mankind up forever. The maladies might have been anxiety, these kinds of things, because Prometheus, okay, it means, the giver of fire, but it also meant, fire was the symbol for knowledge. And where do we get knowledge from? From this thing called logos. Logos means the word. And when we learn how to speak as a species, it gave us a lot of anxieties. We got what was called the default mode network. And it helps us to do a lot of things. It helps us to imagine things and ultimately, I think, to speak and to think. But in the end, that default mode network was just not the best thing for our happiness. People are not inherently more happy than the non-speaking animals. And I think that was what Pandora's box represents. The same story is basically told in the Judeo-Christian religion in the story of the garden. of Adam and Eve and how they ate from the tree of knowledge. There you got logos again. And that tree of knowledge, um, I got to figure out what to do here. I got to move that knight. I don't really want to just lose the knight unnecessarily. I almost have. I don't know. I'll just go for the checkmate and see. I had to sacrifice the knight, and I think I'm going to lose this game, but I'll move this. He's got to put me in check. I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. Oh well. Kind of screwed up here. If I go over there, it's a losing game because he's going to block with his rook. I think I lost this game. Too many sacrifices. I don't know if you'll see it. Yes, he blocked. I may have to resign. Well, it was a nice story about Prometheus. Let's play another game. Um, I'll continue here talking about the Garden of Eden. And basically the same story. They were given, instead of a box, they were given a tree. And they said that on the tree there was fruit. And they weren't supposed to eat that fruit because they would get knowledge. Kind of like Pandora, got sort of like a knowledge. Well, in the Pandora story, the knowledge comes from Prometheus. It's a little bit separate in the story. Like it's still in the story, but in a slightly different place. But you still get the knowledge in the sense that it was curiosity which made Pandora open the box, and apparently it was curiosity that made Adam and Eve eat the fruit. They were curious about that. Like, we were told not to eat it. Why not? What happens if we eat it? We never know unless we try. And everything was hunky-dory there in the garden, so they figured, well, it's like a lot of us. If we don't have a lot of problems, curiosity gets the best of us and kind of like make unnecessary risks or problems just to liven up our lives a little bit. And so basically it's the same story all over again. And when they ate the fruit, it's also said that a similar thing happened. They kind of like got all kinds of maladies. That's the other parallel in the two stories. They got thistles for the first time. Women had to suffer in childbirth after that. Some kind of horrible things happened. And, I guess if you're ever in a situation like that and you're told not to eat something, I don't know, maybe just eat it because maybe the whole story is just all made up anyway, like telling people, well, stay in your places, don't get too curious, it'll happen, you'll end up getting thrown out of your nice garden. I don't know how many people live in a garden nowadays. It would be nice if we lived in gardens. We don't have to go to the grocery store, I suppose. We lived in gardens. I don't know if that covers the whole story and the parallels. I don't want a castle. I don't want to waste a lot of time here, though, either. Maybe I'll just castle. Don't know what he's doing. I got 4 minutes. He's got 3 minutes and 17 seconds. Don't know what's going to happen here. Well, I kind of wanted to do that. The knight has a square. It can go back here, and then it can come out here. I think this is going to be okay. Doesn't look too good. You see the diagonal there that they were coming down? Kind of shuts them off for a little bit. I'm about a minute ahead on the clock, so it's kind of nice. Okay, trade off there. And connect my rooks. This pawn is protected by the bishop and the queen. So that knight's not doing too much there in the corner. He should come out because in the corner he couldn't come to here because of the pawn. So it's a little bit better this position. 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Okay, if the pawn comes down there, this pawn goes up. But I'm going to need to bring my queen. Okay, just going to try to work this through with time right now. I'm going to bring my queen up here off of the trade. And the fact that I'm a minute ahead and basically with a pretty good situation, I might be able to just win this game on time. We'll see how that goes. Well, he can't put me in check, so. Now, this is kind of like a key move. Bring the knight over here and just screw him up a little bit. If he moves this knight out of there, I'll take his queen. I don't have any pieces in trouble right now. Can't bring that knight out. So I'm just going to bring him back because if he can't advance, he's going to have to find another way out. I could trade off rooks right now. I'm still a minute ahead. I think I'm just going to do that because simplify this position a little bit. I don't know if that's in my interest, but okay, I'm just going to bring the queen over here. And this is tricky. Don't think he can infiltrate with his queen, and I'll bring this bishop up here, maybe just block him out a little bit more. Minute 38 to 229, so I'm just still playing the time. Oh, I can't move this bishop though because I'll get killed right there. Okay, move the queen out. With that pawn, he's going to have to move the queen back. I'll offer the trade with my queen. Yeah, this is a kind of a dangerous game, you know, playing this time thing like I'm doing because you make one little mistake and they just break through like crazy. I think I'm going to centralize my king now. Doesn't look too cool. Suddenly starting to lose some time here. I think this will be a good square for my knight. He also protects his pawn. And it looks like he'll be pretty safe in there. Okay, now a lot of people would do something really dumb here. I think I gotta bring my bishop over this side, right over here, so I can advance some of these pawns. My knight is safe. If he attacks my knight, I think I'll keep my knight there by moving this pawn up. Where's that knight going to? I don't see that he's going anywhere really fast. I want to try to keep that 1 minute. Now that I have that, I can move that pawn up and move my king out. That was the whole idea about bringing the bishop up to here so that I could bring. Now it's going to be a mad race with knights. I hope. Can't get this pawn. Okay, I'm just checking over there to make sure everything looks safe. If I move the knight back there, he can't infiltrate with the king, you see. 30. Okay, he can come up here, and I was afraid of that. I got to bring my king over. He's going to try to take this pawn, but I think he's not going to have enough time. He's got 32 seconds left. I was afraid of this. I don't want to lose that second pawn. If he tries to advance those pawns, I will. Oh, that was good. Now his king can't come through over there. Now I can bring my knight over to stop that pawn advance over there, and I'm all set, I think. Okay, I gotta bring my king over. I think the king, the mighty king, he's got 16 seconds to my 40. I don't believe he's going to be able to pull this off with my king coming over there. And you see his king is blocked out from this side because of this pawn move. Was not the best idea. And I'm going to get that pawn, if I'm not mistaken, because this pawn is protected by this knight. His king can't infiltrate. Got his pawn, and 0 seconds left. Okay, well, I think the Prometheus story helped us tonight. It was an interesting story about Prometheus, Pandora, Garden of Eden, and all that. And telling the story maybe took my concentration a little bit off that first game. But after I was primed, I had the Prometheus power. I was able to win that second game. I think in a very strategic way. I hope you find it instructive and a good story, and we'll see you soon. I'm going to sign off here because it's already bedtime where I live. So we'll see you later. Bye-bye.